Ah, what a perfect landing. I wonder why the ship was looking a bit strange. Hello, dear viewer. I'm leesusss. Welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival. Today is a day for change. It is what it is. Actually, let's put this away first. I'm carrying some telluripod meat and milk around with me, which I shouldn't be doing, and some natural sweetener, and loads of water. Still collecting the water from the thing from there. What we're doing today is we are going to upgrade this here beaver. Okay, so last time we were busy collecting resources on the moon, and we now need to make this beast a whole lot more beastlier, so we can go and do beastly things to those naughty Xerax. Okay, so the key things here are managing the additional weight I'm going to put on the ship. So we need more maneuvering power and lift. We need to increase the armor, and we need to put on the new weapons, the rocket launchers, as far as that goes. So let me gather some materials, and then we shall go and do that. I've discovered something I didn't realise before. So normally, as I've said in earlier episodes, I usually build an SV. I don't build a hover vessel, I build a small vessel, and I use that as my usual get-around and destruction mobile to blow things up. And the way I do that is I load rocket launchers onto it, and I use it to blow up defences. What I didn't realise, having not used hover vessels very much, there are no rocket launchers on an HV. The only thing you've got is the railgun, which I might as well unlock now, and I've got one of anyway, and rocket turrets. And I'm more cautious about that. Okay, so in here I have at least one railgun. I've got two railguns, in fact. I'd rather not use railguns, because the problem with railguns is that, if I can demonstrate it in here, railgun bullets are made from cobalt alloy and stathium ingots. Okay, I've got stathium plates, because I get those, because stathium is used to make why am I not finding it? Have I spelled it wrong? Stathium is used to make combat armor blocks. Why am I? Oh, I know why. I can't even make stathium ingots on this. I need the advanced constructor for that. Is what I need. Platinum. Zascosium. Yeah, I can't even make it on here. We've got stathium plates. There you go. I've got those already. Do I have any? So I won't be able to make the ammo, and I don't want to make cobalt alloy. And cobalt, can I make cobalt alloy in here? That's cobalt and iron, I think. It's rather more, yeah, cobalt and iron. It's more expensive than I want to do. So a railgun bullet, the way it works is that they're very fast, as you'd expect from a railgun, and they create a small explosion at the end. Is the way that the so it is nice long range, and they do damage of 2780. So a couple of shots from a railgun would smash up a high level defensive point, but you only make 10 from 40 ingots, 20 of cobalt alloy and 20 of stathium. That's really expensive. This is why I don't build railguns, because they're really quite expensive until you're a bit later in the game than I am here. I wanted the rocket launcher. Let's just have a quick look. Have I got... Well, okay. If I haven't got the materials, then it's irrelevant, because I can't do it anyway. Can I search in there? I can't remember if I can or not. Silicon... I got titanium plates. I got titanium rods. I thought I had some stathium plates as well. Maybe not. Maybe I haven't even got stathium plates. I could possibly... There we go. I've got some. I've got some stathium ingots. So... I found these in points of interest. The only way you get these is by points of interest at the moment. I don't know what to do. So I could do a mixture actually. Let's just go and check something on the... So if I made a rocket launcher, a turret, I don't want the thing firing off whenever it feels like it, because although I've got some resources now, rockets aren't that cheap at the moment for me. You know, I don't want to waste all that magnesium and materials. So the question is, I know you can obviously target, you can tell the turret to target particular things, because we know that, you know, my turret is designed to shoot, not shoot at bases, it's designed to shoot at individuals and drones. So the question is, you can select what you're aiming at. So I could say shoot at bases, there's a rocket launcher, and I could say mounted weapon or turret. I could probably put both of those on there. Yeah? We do a little bit of research first, I think, and just double check on that. But that might be the way, and then we could mount maybe a rocket launcher turret on the front, which is not, it's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to put the two rocket launchers, like a pair here and a pair there. It's just making me more frustrated with HV vehicles again. But I'm determined to keep trying it. I don't usually do it, so I'm determined to keep trying with this thing. It's not a big enough ship to put a lot of turrets on. And I can't get rid of the point defense turret because it's important for shooting down drones. So otherwise I use the railgun and I use it very expensive ammo. Okay, we're going to go with rockets. Here's what we're going to do. Rocket turret is how we're going to start off and see how we go. We can learn together as far as that goes. So first thing though is that enough? Kind of. What I want to do is increase the lift a bit more. Occasionally the lift wasn't quite high enough. It'll go a bit higher than this, but I felt it wasn't quite high enough when manoeuvring around. I'd already been bumping into terrain when I'm trying to dodge shots. So rather than putting in large lift engines, which I could do, I'm just going to add a couple more of the regular ones. This is the heavy part of the ship, of course, isn't it? To see if that will compensate. I need to go a bit deeper than that, I guess, don't I? Oh, I don't like the fact we're exposing the core there, but it's only a small ship, so that's part of the problem. There we go. So that's one part. There we go. Turn it off. Next thing. So that's the lift. Then we put the rocket turrets on. So what we can do is remove this. Because I think it's going to be too big as the problem. Yeah, it's huge. Look at this. This is what I'm concerned about. I won't be able to see where I'm going. So the options here are either to remove part of some of the blocks off of here, but if I do that, then I expose components. I don't know what's actually under here. Maybe there's nothing vital under here. Should we have a quick look? Oxygen. I don't know about you, but I don't like that. No, I don't like that at all. The alternative is, so if we put, let's just have a little test here. I've got some hardened steel blocks with me already. So, okay, so the next step after this is we're then going to replace some of the blocks with hardened steel blocks. Now, the way you do this, I've obviously got some hardened steel blocks here already. I can just put them in, but I don't want to go around taking off each of these blocks and then replacing it with an identical block that's hardened steel. And I don't have to do that. And the reason for that is because I can use the upgrade tool to do that for me. We'll look at that in a minute. For now, though, I just want to look at something which is... that's not right, is it really? That's not good enough. What I'm wondering is if we do the opposite, which is to lift everything else up higher. I don't really want to make this taller, as I have to, but I'm wondering if I make the cockpit one higher. This is more changes to the ship than I wanted to make. Okay, but yeah, what can I do? What can I do? Take that off. Take this off. I hate it. I hate it. Where is our armoured cockpit? Which one was it? I don't remember. If you don't remember, I don't remember. Might have been the first one, you know. I mean, we are above the... We are now above the height, or whatever. A bit higher? Can we go any higher than this? How high is that? Fairly high. I just don't like it. I don't like it. It's not nice. What can I do? Does it matter if I can't quite see over the turret? I think I'm going to go back to just having an obstructed view. Yeah, and we can do future plans for this where we deal with this. But I think for now we're going to have to just suck it up. I think we will. I think the sucking up will be what happens. Can this still turn? So if I turn this on, I want to make sure that is not. I'm not quite sure how the collision detection works in this game with the turrets and things. I don't want to collide with anything. So if we do, no, I don't want to do that. I want to go to the items, devices. If we access the rocket turret, okay. Now I don't want to obviously aim back like that. Look at me! I don't look happy. I'm not a happy bunny in there. All I want is to be able to turn, you know, to some degree, like a, you know, something like a 90-degree arc should be sufficient. I'll be aiming towards the base generally anyway. You know, that should probably be enough. It's not ideal, but it'll do for now. Yeah, and we can put some more hardened steel blocks in here. So, for example, the ones with the quite wide tops on them, which is kind of what I had before. Quite wide tops on them. What sort of description is that, me? What sort of terrible goddamn description is that? I'll finesse it a bit later. But you know, something like that? Bleh, don't like it. But we'll deal with it later. It's just so frustrating that rocket turrets. But I'm stuck here between, obviously, you know, the aesthetics of this, or the lack of aesthetics of this, versus the greater aesthetics of having the railguns, but the high cost of the railguns themselves. You know, and I'm a cheap man. You know that. You know that I'm a cheap man, and therefore I don't want to spend out on this. The other thing is how we do with CPU usage. I feel like just strapping the railguns on there anyway, but I'm not going to. By the way, something I didn't check. Okay, this one. So with a minigun turret, you've got a pop-up or a fixed one like this, which we've got the fixed one here. If we just check this again. Okay, come on, me. You can do it. Again, pop-up and rocket. Now, as far as I know, yes, it takes the 130mm HMSL. There are two sorts of rockets in the game, the vehicle-mounted sorts. Let me see if I can show you one here, possibly. No, is it on here? Okay, yeah, it tells you on here. So, there's the fixed rocket launchers. You have a standard rocket launcher, and then you have the homing rocket launcher. Now, the ammo for this one is fractionally more complicated than this, in that you need electronic controls in the rocket to do it. So it's a little bit more resources to make it, but what you do is you aim roughly towards where you want to shoot the rockets, and you let them fly, and the game tries to get them. You were aiming for this, hopefully, and it tries to hit them. And they've got a reasonable amount of guidance. They're not doing loop-loops and U-turns, but they can guide to a reasonable degree. It helps you hit things that are a long way away, or maybe are moving, which is obviously the problem with rockets, with firing rocket launchers at moving vehicles. It's tricky, so this is quite useful for this. But obviously in a lot of games, you'd probably be used to having one sort of launcher and multiple ammo types. You can't do it in this game, okay? You either have a rocket launcher or you have a guided rocket launcher, and you use the appropriate things in each. And the same applies to the handheld ones, and also to the things from here. So I have some rockets. I've got 24. You get about 6, I think, you get 6 output for every one you make. So that should be sufficient for now. And if I'd had 4 rocket launchers on here, a couple of salvos, because of the power of them, plus the splash, should be sufficient to take out like a tier 3 defensive plasma turret, which is the sort of things that the Xerax sites use to defend their bases. This one, I don't know how long it's going to take me. It can hold a lot of rockets, but it only fires one at a time. And we're going to have to set up how it targets things at some point. We're not going to do that yet. We're going to do that once we have the everything in the right place. There's no point me tweaking the settings and then having to take the damn thing off and put it back on again. So, the next thing is about speed. So what I've been making in here... First, let's turn this off because I was making some more food. I was making some more delicious bug steaks. In here, we have a load of thrusters, which is the next thing to do. And these are the tier 2. And these ones here are thruster regular medium. So I'm not going to increase the number of thrusters, I'm just going to replace them with the better ones. So this is, I think I'm going to get maybe 40% more power for the manoeuvrability of these. Don't start with this game. You always, all the time, you always want to orientate them in the wrong way, and I don't know why. There we go. We're going to put the side ones on. Quiet, you! Alien wood pigeons, whatever they are. Don't need your interference in this. So we've got the side ones. We've got there. We've got the ones for stopping and, most importantly, going in reverse, because we're going to want to retreat away from things occasionally. Well, actually quite commonly. We might approach something and then rapidly pull back from it so that the incoming shots will miss. Okay, and do, like, circle strafes and everything else from here. Do we need to replace these? I don't know. These are regulars, but there's 3 of them, and I'm not too worried about going forward too quickly. I want to be able to dodge to the side. So if I look at the stats on the vehicle, we have roughly the same, actually. So we've got 30 meters per second in any direction. Yeah, and 31 meters per second in reverse. So in other words, pushing us forward. Okay, but I just realised this is a speeder vehicle from Star Wars. I don't trick that before. There we go. Anyway, with the inadvisably mounted jet up here, what I always feels like would be mussing up Luke and Obi-Wan's hair. Anyway, so the only reason for changing this would be by it's how much CPU we're using up, basically. If we change these 3 with 2 of these, we'd effectively use less CPU, would be the answer. We don't need any more RCS, I don't think, for rotation. We don't need more power, because I deliberately put a lot of power in the first place. The O2's not even getting used. This thing I'll probably leave on here for now. So we're mostly there, as far as what we want to do with this. Get out of it, Mosquito. Go on. It's off. What we do need to do, though, is the upgrade for the armour. So I mentioned this before, and the way you do this is under the Tier 1 and Tier 2 multi-tools, you have upgrade and downgrade. Now, I can't remember all the sequence they go between wood and concrete and various other things, but I do know for things like this, if you see on the bottom right-hand side, we can convert this small plate here, which is a normal steel plate, to hardened steel plate, armoured, hardened, using 2 titanium plates. And I've got a bunch of titanium plates in here already. I've just picked them up from, what do you call it? From wrecks and like breaking down wreckage is where I've got all these from. And I can make more of them because I've got loads of titanium. That's what I do. So what I do is, there you go. Now, this is now a hardened steel plate, and you can see on the bottom right, to make it combat hardened, I need 2 stathium plates, and I will get the 2 titanium plates back, which is nice, because you don't use those to make thingy steel plates. The problem is, though, you notice the difference? Or rather, you don't notice the difference, because these look exactly the same. So the risk, the problem with doing this sort of thing is that you have to do it in a very orderly manner. Obviously, I'm picking up the exposed material here because... Oh, repair the device first. Okay, fine. Didn't know it was damaged. It's good to know, though. I didn't know it did that. It's easy to miss them. And these plates are heavier than the standard ones. So if you've got it wrong, you can't look at the plan of the ship and tell which ones are hard and which ones aren't. You have to scan across them like this. And... oh, it's looking at this one now. See, there you go. So you've got to be careful what you do, because otherwise you could end up with an imbalanced ship, because the blocks are harder than the other ones. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go round and I'm going to upgrade the major exposed plates that I can see. So I probably won't worry about the ones on the bottom. I might worry about that one, because there's nothing like landmines or anything in the game that I care about. Certainly these will get upgraded. And we'll see what else we can do with, like, you know, look and shape and everything else of the ship. Here come the Xerax. Want to test out my defences and my eyes. We've got 2 landing craft by the look of it. I haven't put any missiles in there, unfortunately. I don't want to waste missiles on these goddamn things anyway. I can't see anything else apart from the 2 troop transports. We should wipe these guys out fairly easily. There we go, that one's down. I decided not to let the troops get out, but just to crash it. It was so close to being destroyed anyway. Otherwise, the ship's not being too bad. It's handling quite well. That's only a level 1 troop transport anyway. The other was a level 3. But that makes a difference to like what troops are in there. It might, you know. There you go. Careful that lands. Crunch. I was more worried that I was... Oh dear. I didn't know where the... if they would try to attack my other units, my what do you call it? My vehicles. Anything good in here? Any weapon upgrade, nice. What's in the back? Nothing but corpses, I presume, because there's nobody in there. Anyway. Okay, I know you just starved to death, but I think I'm kind of okay with it now. I don't know. I think I've done as far as that goes. We have new additions. We have just a new texturing on some of it, as far as to represent the tougher armor plate that's on some of the material here. We have I like these, by the way. You've probably seen me use these before in various ways. These are glowing blocks, so they light up very nicely on the front of this. This is a ship. It's obviously not designed to hide. Okay, I want them to know I'm coming, and to poop their big Xerax pants when I start doing damage to them is the aim. We'll see how that actually works out when it comes to it. But there you go. I've got a few textures on here. I've got the old leesusss eyeball texture on there. I couldn't find a better one than that. I mean, there's a few on here. The symbols rather. There's letters and things, and then there is numbers, and you want to get more of these. And there's some of these which are okay. I couldn't work out how to make them different colours. So these always seem to be white with a background of orange. And I'd like to make them black on a background of orange or something like that, but I can't do that apparently. I haven't tried these actually, like camouflage. Or maybe like moss growing. Oh, I see, it's that. Yeah, that's interesting, but I don't actually want that. Come on, let me do the removal. No, let me do the removal. Oh, it's just so funny sometimes. I don't know what's going on with it sometimes. It's really annoying. Usually when you do colour like that, it will just go, but it doesn't want to for some reason. Best way is to go back to zero like that, and then put it back on again. There you go. Annoying. Yeah. Eyeball on there. I've got the turret set up. I haven't put the ammo in yet. But I think we're kind of there. Oh, actually, know what we need to do? This is no longer the beaver. It's not the format that I wanted. It's not what I wanted when I had in my mind what ship we would have. I wanted those racks of rocket launchers on the side, but we haven't got that. So tough. We've got what we've got. Okay, and we're renaming this. We made it. It's a bit nastier now, as far as that goes. I think it's going to call the Badger. Is what I was thinking of. There we go, and we save the template. And we can do a blueprint as well. That's not a great... a bit like that maybe. Maybe that'll give me a reasonable... Okay. Oh god, look at this. Look at this. Put the damn tool away, you flipping tool. We'll try it again. We should be able to overwrite it. Okay, is that there now? Yeah, there we go. Not great. So we've used a formula. So if we compare the two, it's not terribly more. You've got a lot more cobalt ingots, a lot more oh, you've got titanium rods, of course, in there as well. Titanium rods? I thought they'd be plates. I guess titanium rod is the base. You don't get a titanium ingot. You get a titanium rod, maybe, as the base material. I don't know, but that's the base materials for this, and it's not bad. It's okay as far as that goes. I need to load it up with material. I need to eat some more food as well, and I need to get rid of this because this is done now. Actually, I've always been. You notice the vehicles lying around. I tend not to get rid of my old vehicles until I'm certain that I am finished with them, because the last thing you want is to get halfway through building something and you've taken apart the first one and then you no longer have a vehicle to go and get more resources if you need to, if you see what I mean. Well, I thought we'd round out this episode with some science. Okay, so this is Creative World. You can easily make a creative world. This is one that I just make to play around with things and to build stuff and to look at templates and various things like that. And here we have I spawned in one of the defences that we were playing around with earlier. And it's been a bit dinged up around here as well, hasn't it? Looks like the effect of the explosion hitting around it. So I've been taking shots at this thing to see what was going wrong with what I'm doing. And so let's answer a few questions. Okay, first of all, was I missing my shots with the Epic Missile Launcher or with the Badger, one of which is sitting over there dusting away quietly? The answer is no. And there's no... I was worried about immune sections on turrets. I've had that before with alien creatures, where you could only hit them in certain places to hurt them. That doesn't seem to be a thing in this current version of the game. So no, I was not hitting immune areas, and I was not missing. Maybe a couple of the shots from the Badger were a little off to the side, but splashes happen. So the little bit of damage that's happened here is happened because there's an explosion around where the missile hits, and that's the reason why you've got dings around here. But the other shots were mostly hitting on target here, so it wasn't that. Okay. The second thing is, what about the actual damage being done? Well, so let's see. So this, okay. So the current damage to this turret is 1474 out of 5,000. 5,000, ridiculous. We're about 100 meters away here, which is roughly how far away we were in game. And the posted damage for the gun is where is it? 500 damage. Okay, I have to go all that close to it to see it, but 1352. Yeah, so I've done 120 points of damage. That's a bit less than you might be expecting, isn't it, really? I've got to reload. Hitting it, the turret also responds when you hit it. 1266. I'm not doing a lot of damage. I'm not saying not doing 500 points of damage, am I? How about, you can see I've carelessly strapped on a couple of railguns here as well to play around with that. But how about this? So in creative, I mean, the thing isn't shooting at me and I'm not automatically shooting at it, but I can use I can take control of my turret. Okay, we can see it hit it. 1155. What was it before? So 1155. Let me do it again. 1155. Hold on. So it's not a lot of damage, is it? It's considerably less than is posted, and apparently what it might be, it's hard to tell, because the problem with the game is that there are various versions of the game and they've been changed over time. So not everything you read online will necessarily be correct anymore, and the wiki's not super reliable, I've found, either. There's a couple of different wikis and I've now not found either to be super reliable. Yeah, what you see online might not be the same that's currently true, so you've got to be careful what the information you get out. But essentially, from what I've seen so far, is that there's a hardness factor to blocks in the game. So, for example, metal blocks will reduce damage to a certain degree. And it's not about whether they're combat steel or hardened steel, just that they're metal blocks. They reduce damage taken. So that means that you're doing a lot less than you expect. Compared to what the posted damage for the thing is. So really, you're only going to do full damage against, I guess, against individuals, like characters running around, or against wooden blocks or things which you occasionally see, maybe against concrete as well, but not against metal. This is kind of a problem to me. So to me, what I would say is that if you've got, the blocks have different health, yeah? A hardened steel block has more health than a steel block. Okay, and a combat steel has got more again. And that's the difference in armouring. Yeah, it's not that a block is inherently harder in some way. It's just that you give it more health, and that makes it more resistant to damage. Yeah, that's what you do. To give a block more health, and then also factor in a hardness degree, it's kind of silly to me. I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever. And I don't know if this is a recent change or it's something that's changed in the past. For example, 5,000 health is not what they had before. Okay, it was more like something about 3. So a player-made plasma turret has something like 3,500 health, 3,500 health. And I'm pretty sure that's what these used to have as well, because I used to take these out in the past without too much trouble. I used to blow them up with, a few salvos of rockets. And I was at risk while doing it, but it seemed a reasonable risk change. Now I need to do so much more. I mean, if I'm doing at this rate, I'm going to need, I don't know, 40 rockets all on target or something like that. 35 rockets to blow up one of these turrets. And of course, this is a base with one turret. Okay, this is an outer defense point. But if you go up against a drone base, for example, they will have multiple turrets on them. Let alone the drones that are flying around. They won't all be plasma turrets like this. But that's too much to try to destroy. That's just a bit too far the other way. I think to try to balance out the game and make it a little bit harder when you get into later levels of the game, the developers earlier have gone too far and done it too early. Because this is madness. You shouldn't have to fire like 40 rockets at a turret like this to destroy it. That's a bit mad. Okay, so the choice is. Oh, by the way, I didn't do this. I think that you'll be particularly surprised by this. But if we go back, what's the damage on this again? 1026. If we go and we test out the railguns, twin railguns I've got on this, yeah. Bit harder to aim because they're fixed mounted and I've got to lift the vehicle up and it's wobbling around a bit. But luckily, when you're on target, they fire really fast. That did a bit more, didn't it? 2 rounds. That was nearly 3. Oh no, not really, because let's have a look on this. It's done about 300 damage or something like that, which is 150 from each. And what is the posted damage on a railgun? I'm not seeing it. Okay, they're supposed to do 2,780 damage. Should we say that again? 2,780 damage. Okay, from a railgun, and I've got 2 of them firing at the same time. So in theory, this should one-shot this thing here. But it isn't, is it? It does explosion damage around the outside. What is going on here? I don't get this at all. I do not understand this. Well, okay, we'll try one more thing. Okay, so we're firing against. Let's ignore this for now. What is this here? Hardened steel block. This one down here. Okay. Hardened steel block. Let's see what this does. Railguns. That is a serious reduction in damage. There's something wrong there, isn't there? And I know, so it's causing an explosion, but in fact we haven't even got splashed to the surrounding areas from here. The calculations are going wrong here somewhere along the line, yeah? It's not great, is it really? These are all hardened steel blocks. I can't think about those particularly. Yeah, so I want to throw a huge amount of ammo at this to destroy it. So what I could do, here's what I can do. I can use, I'll check something else as well, by the way. Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm trying to press control to go downwards. Control and a movement direction makes you go very quickly. I wonder how much that plasma cannon's doing in terms of damage, because it blew this up in one hit, which is fair enough, but I don't know. I guess I'm not taking too much damage from it. Well, like a war of attrition, isn't it, really? If I... Yeah, I don't know what to do. Let's try this again, see if I've made a mistake over here. Can I go any higher? Not really. A little bit higher. Okay. Took another 4 rounds to do it. To blow it up. That's a lot of materials to be used. So what I can do is I can use, and it's harder to aim ones like that because you're trying to dodge around at the same time and then get a bead and not waste any shots. So what I can do is I can use railguns plus the rocket launcher to try and take this thing out as quickly as possible and dodge around. Yeah, that's one of the answers. Option 2 is to go back on what I said I was going to do and not use the HV anymore and move to an SV. Okay, and do what I used to do, which is fly around above it basically like this, because I'm in God mode, dropping shots, you know, nuking it from orbit, nuke the site from orbit, with multiple rocket launchers and blow it apart and dodging around like that. Or I can use the method that I used already, which is I can just rush up to it, take a couple of hits, get inside and blow up the core. Now that won't work on later bases because later bases are better defending that. But on these current ones here, I might as well just do that because I'm going to take hits in dodging around and using all those resources to shoot this. I'm going to take a few hits. So I might as well take a few hits by rushing up to it and then getting so close it can't shoot me and doing a commando raid and blowing it up from there. Which is frustrating. But that might be where we're at for now, and then we'll do something different with other bases. Because, you know, even if I load... If I increase the size of this and loaded it down with more rocket launchers, I'd still be in the same position. I don't know, maybe they'll do an update in the future about fixing this and going from there, because I can't be having weapons that are posted on having... You know, let me just check this again. This is the right one, isn't it? I am using the right one on here. Where is it? Posted as doing over 2,500 points of damage and only doing 1/10 of that. There's something wrong there, yeah? There's something wrong with that kind of idea. Okay, anyway, and that science lesson is over. Next time, what we'll do is I will... that looks awesome, by the way. What I will do... Well, it doesn't look awesome the way it's strapped on, but these guns look awesome. I'll go away and I'll probably tweak the Badger a little bit, not the Beaver, the Badger, and come back, and then we'll actually try and raid some Xerax positions, but not necessarily take these defense turrets down in the way we're supposed to. We'll do commando raids, I think will be the answer, and deal with it in that way. Anyway, there's lots of other hassles in the area to deal with beyond just these defences. The fact there's drones flying around, and there's individuals on the ground. There are ground troops as well we'll have to deal with. But there you go. Little view of the... we'll be back to the creative world at some point in the future, I think, for some of the later builds. But there you go. That's it for today. I'll bring you back, and we'll go and finally get round to punching some Xerax.